What I'm going to talk about next is an IDX mobile solution that we've developed specifically for the Emerald Coast Homes Online, which is the Emerald Coast Association. And this allows consumers, when they come into town or when they're moving throughout town, they can use this app to look for real estate with a reliable source of data, meaning the MLS feed via IDX from Emerald Coast. So the best way to show you how this works is to show you how you can load it. It's as simple as going into, there we go, going into the Android market or the iTunes store. Who's downloaded apps before? Okay, so most of this, I love this crowd. There's some people that don't even know what I'm talking about when I say apps when I speak at other associations, so you guys are ahead of the curve. But you just simply search for Emerald Coast Homes. And this is your consumers, this is the sphere of influence, those people out there. And once they download that, let me go live here, actually on my iPad here, and I'll go into the app itself. My little cable's a little sensitive here, so I'm trying not to lose connection when I have it stretched out this far. Okay, this is the app. So think of this as a big, huge iPhone. And here's the way the app works. A consumer wants to search for real estate. And by the way, I'm going to show you the main functionality of this. If you want to see it in more detail, I will be out in the lobby after this to show you the more intricate features, but for the consideration of time, I'm just going to show you the basic functionality. But the consumer runs a search, so they open up this screen. Now these search fields look pretty familiar to all of you, right? Pretty typical. And they go into a map section. Now I've actually had this open earlier, but I can zoom in, zoom out. Notice how I can find a specific area. Go ahead and press continue. Oh, let me go back and show you again. Everything within that red box is the searchable area. It's that simple. So your consumer's doing this. Press continue at the top. Notice I can change the different parameters, property type, price, bed, bath, and all those kind of things. I have 500,000 to 800,000 for this area. So I'll go ahead and run the search. And I'm pressing the search button at the top right. And in just a second here, once it goes on network, it'll pull up the results. Now, if the property has photos, maybe some of these are guys' listings, but if the property has photos, those will show as well. And I can actually show this in a map view. And the map view shows all the properties specifically as well. I can zoom in and zoom out. I can even choose an individual property by just pressing that push pin. And I can actually hit that blue arrow and go into the property details. Now, this is the MLS-driven IDX data. This isn't speculative data that isn't reliable. This is the real MLS data. So notice here we have multiple pictures that can be run through. It has a full property description. You can actually save the property and make notes. You can even make video notes if you choose to. And I'll show you this out in the hall after we're done here if you'd like to see that in action. But what's nice here is if the consumer or this buyer is thinking about contacting the agent, I press that little agent banner button, and I'll show you again where that was, but it shows you the contact information for that specific agent. And if this was a phone, if I was to press that click to call, it would pull up the dialer on the phone. So what we're trying to do is make it very easy for consumers to look up real estate on their smartphones. This is available for Androids and for the iPhones. Let me go back here and show you one other thing. By the way, click this banner where it says Denise, that little blue arrow there is where I got the contact information. Let me go back here, one more screen, done. A couple other things to show you just briefly. You can also do a search for nearby properties as well. There's a snap to view feature. Since we're not in front of any properties now, imagine you're a consumer, you pull up to a property and there's a sign in the dirt and you want to find out the price of that property. You can actually point your smartphone at that property, click snap to view, and it will find that property in the MLS via IDX and put it on your phone. Now, it sounds like magic, but it really isn't. It's based on the GPS and the triangulation location of the phone that you're using and the compass on which way it's facing. So, it sounds like magic, but a really cool feature. And then you can do a nearby search as well to see what homes are in a certain radius as well. All right, let me go back out of this app again. Back into Keynote. We do have another opportunity. And by the way, this is something that ECAR is providing. The system I just showed you is providing for the whole area so consumers can use that and find you as the listing agent. But we've also developed a system where consumers can actually go online and search for property, but you have the opportunity to brand that. So think of your sphere of influence, those people you've done business with before, your friends, your family, those contacts you have. And what if you could go up to them and say, or send them in mass email or something and say, hey, I have a branded home search app that will allow you to search the MLS just like I do. I know you gotta be careful how you use MLS, but I'm just a tech guy. But allow you to search for real estate, and you can do that on your smartphone, your iPhone or your Android. And the nice thing about that is when they find a property, no matter which property they're looking at, every time the contact name will be you. Now I can explain this further in the hallway as well, but it basically allows you to have your own branded app where all roads of contact lead back to you. Now we do show the listing brokerage on every property, but again, the contact, the phone numbers, the email address, all lead to you no matter which property they're looking at. I wouldn't want my sphere of influence out looking at property and have them find, the listing agent to contact. So it's probably best to have your name on that.